So I'm with Bruce McCracken, the Executive Director of the Pecan Street Project. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks, Ben.
So you guys are based in Austin, Texas, and I want you to start off by talking to us a little bit about what does the group do?
We are a research organization headquartered at the University of Texas. We're working with the best in Researchers University of Texas, major technology and clean energy companies and utilities to come together to solve problems around electricity and its economic and pollution impacts.
You guys really do help and work with a lot of organizations on helping them test their technologies. Can you kind of go through with us the application of how you are either approached by different companies and organizations to test certain technologies, or how you approach other groups, and what does that relationship ultimately look like, and where do you test these things?
We received a stimulus award from the Department of Energy in late 2009. With that, we recently released a procurement opportunity for companies to bring us their best ideas, and we'll supply funding to help them test those ideas on a real electric grid with real customers. We then go out and listen to customers about what they want. We recruit volunteer participants. We only work with volunteers. That's a good discipline to have, because I think one of the fair questions that's coming out on Smart Grid is, what's in it for the customer? We recognize and do believe that there is important value in having smart meters and information technology in the electric grid, but it better serve a purpose that's relevant to people. And one of the great things about telecom is that what happened with mobile phones is suddenly we had new ways to communicate that made our lives richer and better. That's the challenge we'll face in clean energy and smart grid. If all we do is the equivalent to put up a lot of cell phone towers but never create cell phones or smartphones or apps, then we'll have an industry where it won't be relevant to people. The challenge is finding the products and services that people want, that they value, that makes their lives better, and making sure that those solve the very real environmental and economic problems confronting the electricity industry.
So where do you take these concepts and actually implement them and test them in the field? Is there a certain area in the city that you're using, or you use existing customers? How does that work out?
We're working with volunteer participants throughout Austin. A major area of focus on our Department of Energy funded Smart Grid project is in Austin's Miller community. It was in 2009 selected as the world's largest LEED Indy certified community. It's all green built. The residents are very progressive and interested in being early adopters. That's why they live at the side of a former airport. It's a new urbanist community that it's got a lot of exciting things about it, and the residents are all banding together to do things like have solar panels on as many of the rooftops as possible. That's a big place where we're working with volunteer participants to test out these ideas.
How many people live in that community?
Right now, a little over 2,000 residents live in this 711-acre community. That community also contains the world's largest LEED Platinum hospital, in fact, the world's first LEED Platinum hospital, in a major retail area that's all green built as well, with stores you've heard of like Best Buy and Home Depot and PetSmart. And so this is a community with a hospital, with apartments, with a film studio, in fact, 2 film studios, and a lot of residents who live in homes and apartments. We reach agreement with the residents who want to participate. We reach that agreement on the front end. They're providing a very valuable service to advance the knowledge about how we can create an electricity sector that solves our toughest economic and environmental challenges. So they're full participants. Our Smart Grid demonstration project in Miller includes 2 Miller residents on our project's executive committee. And we did that because if you're going to create an electricity system that is relevant to people and creates the products and services that are have value to residents, you better have customers participating in the decision making from the front end. there are a lot of places around the world where there are efforts to, make a difference and try new ideas out, but they're almost all oriented around what's happening on the utility side of the meter and having more of a top-down approach. To our knowledge, we're the only effort in the world where we're starting from the customer's perspective on smart grid and working with technology companies and customers and utilities to construct the electricity system around the interests of customers and build it out.
Could you give an example of maybe a recent test that you've done in the community that people have said they're willing to try out and stuff, and give us a little bit on the outcome of how that test is going?
We went live at the beginning of February in 2011 on the first phase of our smart grid demonstration project, and that's with 100 households in Miller. What we're doing, we've networked those 100 homes of volunteers with sensors that are capturing their real-time electricity usage and now gas and soon to be water usage on 15-second increments. And what we're finding out is, how do people use electricity, gas, and water during the day? Not just on an overall basis, but what specific systems inside the homes are responsible for maybe big spikes during the course of the day. And that it turns out it's only the second time in the U.S. that's been done in the Sun Belt to find that information out. And it's the first time we've ever done it with knowledge and with analysis on things like solar panels and energy efficiency. Because we're trying to find out and quantify what kind of a difference do solar panels make on the energy usage of a home, and what kind of a difference do different levels of green building make. So we found out some interesting things already. For instance, homes with solar panels in the Miller community during the fall, they produce more electricity than they consume during the day. Another thing we found out is that a surprising big energy hog in a home during the day is a cable box. A cable box is using 300 watts 24/7 on average, and that's as much as a lot of plasma televisions, but at least the plasma TV gets turned off and the cable box never does. That's the kind of knowledge that once you know something about it, you can start targeting solutions toward it. Almost all the efforts on smart grid from around the world, they talk about turning off people's air conditioners on the summer afternoons. And in my mind, that's called the secret plot to kill smart grid. Right? Take the thing that people value the most and take it away from them and say that's the solution. There's more suffering and less comfort. Hopefully, where we are with smart grid is we're making people's lives better. We're solving economic and environmental problems, but doing it in a way that has the needs and interests of customers driving the solutions.
And how long is this test going to take place?
The first phase we're in, where we're doing this baseline analysis of how people use electricity, that'll go on for 12 months. So that'll go on through the end of January of 2012. At that point, we're going to begin the second phase of our research in the Miller community and in the adjacent communities to Miller. And that's going to involve deploying the most cutting-edge home energy management systems from the best companies in the private sector that will then begin networking in things like electric vehicles, home appliances, LED lighting, rooftop solar panels, and even home energy storage. All of what home energy management systems look like to us is the nerve center for how energy is going to be managed in buildings and homes in the future.
Why are you choosing to spend your time on something that is so cutting edge in an industry that needs so much of it?
I blame my 8th grade science teacher, Mr. Matlock, because he was the guy when I was an 8th grade kid at Baker Junior High School in Corpus Christi, Texas, who started teaching us about solar energy. And for some reason, it just clicked on me that this was something where you could use technology and science to solve big challenges and actually create a better future. So because of him, I built a solar water heater in my parents' backyard in 8th grade and entered it in the one and only Corpus Christi Alternative Energy Fair at Cole Park on Corpus Christi Bay. And in fact, my brother, about a year and a half ago, found a photo of me back when I had kind of Sean Cassidy hair down to my shoulders and OP corduroy shorts on. And it's a picture of me at that fair with showing my homemade solar water heater to some people drinking Schlitz beer. But I also used lawn mowing money had to buy a PV kit with a motor for the back of the old Star and Sky magazine. And I never really lost that. In the year 2000, shortly after I'd moved to Austin, I became one of the original subscribers to the Green Choice clean energy offering from Austin Energy. That was something that I never had lost. And then I became involved in efforts to promote clean energy in Austin. I ran for the Austin City Council and served for 6 years from 2003 to 2009. Austin Energy is the largest utility in the nation that has elected officials as its board of directors. It's the board, the city council is the board of directors of Austin Energy. So I had the incredible privilege of getting to take that passion I'd had since 8th grade and learn the nuts and bolts of what are the realities of running a major national utility. Austin Energy is the nation's 4th largest municipally owned utility. And they created the building code that became the basis of the LEED rating system. And they've had the longest running clean energy program in the nation of any utility. So we learned the realities of everything from running a transmission and distribution system and billing all the way to what are the different economic and environmental issues with different types of electricity generation. But ultimately, I'm like a lot of people. I've gotten into this because I want to make a difference in my life. And what I've found is that this is an area where we've been thinking and doing things the same old way for over 100 years. And we can do better. And I want to be part of the people who help to contribute to that better future.
Well, Brewster, thanks so much for giving us some of your time today. I really appreciate it. This is
Yeah.
very, very cool, and I wish you guys all the best. If folks want to learn more about the Pecan Street project, can you tell us where they should go?
We have a website, pecanstreetproject.org. It's all spelled out. And we have a lot of educational materials, including a report that we issued last year in March of 2010. We have a couple of forthcoming white papers. We're meeting about a next to final draft on one of them earlier this morning. It really lays out for people, if you want to get into clean energy and smart grid and create a company or a job, what do you do? Those are the things we're starting to tackle, and you'll be able to find information on our website that includes some great analysis by some top economists and researchers.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much, and I look forward to staying in touch.
Me too, Ben. Thanks a lot.